welcome to my channel, or back to my channel, Moon Fire Magic. I am Diane Cox, and hello tarot friends, how are you? So I thought I would do a tarot reading on the upcoming planetary kind of get-together, a nice way of putting it, of what's going on this week. So depending on where you are in the world, it could be the 8th or it could be the 9th of August 2025. Obviously it doesn't just happen on one day, at one moment. The planets start to creep towards each other, and they're actually already in a lot of this alignment, but then Mars joins in the fun around the 8th and the 9th. I have put up a chart for the 8th of August 2025. That's what I'm working from, and that's what I'm doing my tarot based on, because it's the 8-8 portal, the Lion's Gate thing that goes on every year at this time of year. So what I've done, because this planetary alignment is quite potent, I'm obviously very interested in the positives of the vibes and the best that we can get out of it, because they are intense. So I've shuffled the cards and I've actually put them out because I wanted to get the big overview before I started talking, and I wanted to give you some of the astrological information. So what I did while I was shuffling, I just brought in my own entourage. I asked all beings of love and light, and those in the cosmic, the beautiful cosmic consciousness that are interested in raising up humanity's vibrations, to kind of come and influence the reading and what humanity needs to know. And because what's going on around the 8th of August is you've got Pluto retrograde at 2 degrees Aquarius, okay? You've got Saturn in Aries, 1 degree retrograde. Neptune also retrograde, 1 degree Aries, okay? And then you've got Uranus at 0 degrees of Gemini. And on the 8th, we'll have Mars in Libra at 0 degrees, okay? We've also got Chiron retrograde at 27 degrees of Aries, okay? So let's just kind of, what this means as an overview is all these planets that are at 0 or 1 or 2 degrees, they all make aspects, okay? And they can be very positive aspects, or they can be more challenging, okay? And Mars in particular makes quite an interesting connection to Saturn, and it's all, Saturn, is all about boundaries, constriction, limitations, and all that kind of thing. And Mars is the warrior, it's the driver, the passion, but it's also, when used not quite well, is aggression and whatever. But it's vitality, it's sexuality, and all that kind of stuff. So on the 8th, these planets are all very integrated, interacting. They're all kind of saying hello to each other across the cosmos because of the degree that they're at. And I thought, I've seen some things on the internet about, what could happen, and the kind of more, the more scary stuff about it, which is valid. But I wanted to just do this tarot reading to just go, okay, and there's this, and there's also this. And right after the 8th, there's a beautiful astrological connection that comes up with Jupiter and Venus, which is absolutely fantastic. So if you make the most of this astrological coming together of these planets, you'll find that Venus-Jupiter will be even more precious and beautiful, okay? So here we go. So, pull my sleeves up. Let's roll my sleeves up and get on with this. And let's see if I can get my feet of my chair in even better. Nice and cozy. Now you're talking. So this is what we've got. All right, we've got the Ace of Wands as a significator, and the sun has just gone down so you can actually see that. Yeah, we have Zeus with his golden fleece holding the world in his hands. It's an uprush, it's exciting, it's ideas, it's the Ace of Wands, it's fire, it's being driven, it's being, it's motivation, it's kind of, wow, let's get on with this, let's act, let's do it. And the Ace of Wands is like a green cosmic light. It's like a green light from the cosmos going, okay, go, let's get on with it. Let's use the power of Zeus to get on with these things and enjoy these things, okay? So, okay, right, so you've got this planetary alignment, and it's like, okay, how can I make the most of this? What can I do? What am I looking at? What am I working on? What do I need a green light for? How long have I been waiting for the universe to say, this is the time, this is now, go for it now, do it now, okay? And so that is a very nice indicator for the Ace of Wands for this time. The crossing card, which as you know is a bridge or a challenge here, is the Three of Wands. Okay, so here we have the Three of Wands, and this can be a card of, this is Jason, and he's just about to go on a journey, but he needs to get ready first. So this this Three of Wands is about patience, getting organized, but I always see in this card courage and the ability to stand up for the self, stand up for what you believe in, because here the king is kneeling down, apologizing to Jason, while secretly planning to kill his father and hope Jason never comes back from getting the golden fleece. Okay, so there's a little bit of deceit here, because this king has no intention of honoring his promise, because the king is hoping that Jason just never comes back and he'll never return, and the king can just carry on usurping. He did a coup on the kingdom, took the kingship kind of illegally, stole it off Jason's father, and here you go. So in this card, I personally see Jason being strong and brave. He's got a mission. He's going to go and get the golden fleece. He's got to kind of just get himself together, have a bit of patience while everything is working out, and he kind of has that sense of satisfaction, that with the three, it's like that first sense of achievement, of satisfaction, that you've done something, it's worked out, it looks good, and you've got work to do ahead, but at the moment it looks like everything is all on track for change and getting things organized, completing a task. So when we're thinking of this planetary alignment, it's that feeling of, okay, it's all happening. There's great, I'll do that now. There's great things. So Pluto, you've got Pluto involved in this alignment, things coming up to the surface, deep buried things coming up to the surface. And I'm, soul stuff, spiritual stuff, emotional stuff, mental stuff, even physical stuff coming up, from deep within. It could be unconscious stuff that suddenly becomes conscious. You've got Saturn used in its best ability, knowing where your boundaries are, knowing where your limits are. It's responsible, it's reliable, it's the disciplinarian, it's strict, it's telling you to get your act together, it's gathering wisdom. It's like Saturn wants to gather wisdom. You've got the Neptune retrograde. Neptune, as you know, the visionary, the visionary that wants everything to be beautiful and everyone to get on, and the love vibe to just envelope everybody's hearts, that kind of stuff. And then you've got Uranus in the mix, which is the kind of left field surprises, things coming out of nowhere that you weren't expecting. It's like, wow, what's going on here? I wasn't really expecting that to come into my life at this moment, or that feeling to come up, or that event to come up, or that happening to come up. It's surprises that kind of come out of nowhere, and they can be very exciting, they can be quite shocking, but just get yourself in a state of mind where it's like, okay, it's something different. And, you know, I kind of, you know, maybe had the heads up on this. And, okay, as Louise Hay would always say, all is well, all is well. Everything is happening for my highest good, all is well. That was one of Louise Hay's favourite sayings when the proverbial hit the fan. It's like, just don't go into panic mode, okay, if something unusual happens. Chiron retrograde is obviously all about going back over healing, the opportunities for healing, just like Pluto is. Healing, facing up to stuff that's coming up. Use it to heal, okay? And then you've got the Mars coming into it, but it's in Libra. Mars in Libra, so it's just kind of coming into Libra, 0 degrees. Mars in Libra, the diplomat. You know, Libra is the peacemaker, the socialite, you know, that wants to have a good laugh and everything. Even though Mars is kind of making these connections to Saturn. Again, in a perfect world, giving structure to Venus in its diplomatic state with balance, the Venusian love and harmony that it really likes. Saturn put in structure to that. Okay. You'll often, the other case is with Mars and Saturn is, you know, conflict, discord. The disciplinarian doesn't, you know, kind of the diplomatic kind of areas with Libra doesn't quite go well with the disciplinarian because there's a bit of a clash in what people need. But I'm focusing on the positive, okay? Now, am I looking a bit pink? I think I am. Let's carry on. Okay, so you've got the Ace of Wands, significator, the Three of Wands crossing, okay? I see the Three of Wands as a bridge, not an obstacle, okay? That's what I would see. Getting to that place of knowing that you've done the right thing, sense of satisfaction, you're feeling quite chuffed with yourself, and now you've got to get on with organising your friends and the Argo, the ship, to go and get the Golden Fleece. What is the overarching card in this reading for this upcoming planetary alignment on the 8th of August 2025? Look at that beauty. Look at the beauty of it, okay? How exactly right is that? So we have the Ten of Cups. This is when Eros and Psyche have been through their trials and tribulations. You probably know the story well if you watch my channel. Psyche betrayed Eros by looking at him when she promised she never would. They were kind of in this lovely relationship. He used to come to her at night because he was a god, she was a mortal, and she was having this beautiful life in this fantastic kingdom. And then her sisters whispered in her ear that it was all a load of crap, a load of BS, and you know, it was all like a not real, and she should look upon his face, and she did. She betrayed him and she lost him. And then Psyche has to go through the 7 initiations set by Aphrodite, and one of them going down into the underworld, going into the unconscious, going into the dark recesses of self, to kind of discover why she did that and what she's learnt from it. And this is obviously the end of the story. It's a happy ending. She passes all the initiation tests and ends up back with Eros, and they have this beautiful, loving, creative, it's cups, it's love, it's romance, it's creativity, it's gentleness, it's kind of healing, it's all that lovely stuff that the Ten of Cups represents, which is beautiful as an overarching card. Now, when these planetary alignments hit, and of course it's going to be, like I say, over a few days, just keep this, you know, love and success and, you know, that felicity of being, the grace of life, is after hard work. It comes through trials and tribulations. So don't think just because you're being tested, you know, that the universe always sends us tests to check that we're actually practicing what we're learning. Okay, so the universe goes, okay, are you actually, you know, putting into practice what we've talked about and what you've learned over the decades of your life? So that Ten of Cups as an overarching card, I think, is amazing and beautiful and wonderful. Okay, and keep that in mind. Because at the base of the question, the base card, the root card, is this. The Five of Pentacles. So this is a card that I think, you know, we can all sometimes suffer from feeling that lack. It's a card of lack. It's a card of thinking you haven't got enough. There isn't enough spirituality. There isn't enough friendship. There isn't enough money. There isn't enough emotional support. There isn't enough stimulation. It's a card of lack. And it also can be a card of guilt or shame and having to run away. Because in this card, Daedalus has actually killed his nephew by mistake, but he did. And so he's killed his nephew, and basically what's happened is he's got to run away in the middle of the night, okay? Because he's done a shameful thing, and he's had to leave all of his stuff behind. He's had to leave all of his tools and everything he's built up for himself. He has to leave everything behind and, run off and escape before he is captured, all right? So at the base of the question, it's a kind of like, where are you feeling lack? And where can you bring abundance back into your life? How can you bring abundance back? I think part of the pain is recognizing it. It's kind of going, I do feel a lack. Part of the difficulty is going, I am feeling like this, acknowledging it, recognizing it, and going, I am feeling this kind of lack around something. And then thinking about using kind of this to think about, how can I bring that back into balance? How can I feel abundant with what I actually feel lack about at this very moment? Sometimes with this card, it's a question that you would ask yourself of, basically, how am I sabotaging my own resilience? How am I kind of, not recognizing, or how am I suppressing my own resilience? I think also with this card, it is, having to reflect on the mistakes you've made, which is this planetary alignment is very good for, with that Pluto and things coming up from the deep. It's having the strength of character to go, I really made a mistake there. I really said something quite wrong, or I did something wrong. I acted in a way that wasn't right. And maybe just making a simple apology to people or yourself. It's all about forgiveness in the end, forgiving ourselves, and, then just kind of knowing and understanding why you behaved in the way that you did, and just going, I made a mistake, I did something stupid. So this might be coming up at the moment. This with this planetary alignment, you might just be going, why did I do that? Why did I say that? What was I thinking? And then a simple email or a text, or if you're the type that likes to actually, send a call and speak directly, then that could also be the case. That could that could be very beneficial. And then we've got the what is in the past here. So let's have a look. What's in the past? Now this is interesting regarding the energy of the moment. Okay, on the 8th. What's the energy here? It is the Three of Swords. So what I would say here, this is where the mother of Orestes with her lover is killing the husband in the bath. Okay, novel way of getting rid of someone in the bath. But the Three of Swords in the past, okay, the Three of Swords in the past, sorry, I've just changed the lighting a bit because I thought it was going to be better, but I'm not sure if it is, is about, as you probably know, if you follow tarot, it is heartbreak, sorrow, pain. Obviously, you only have to look at this card and it's like, oh yeah, I see here. And so you've got betrayal, grief. So something in the past that has affected how you've felt, it's old wounds, it's like that stuff that I always think with the Three of Swords, it's like a boil that has come up and it's grown. It's been festering for far too long, and this is the the lancing of the boil. It's the kind of, there's the Three of Swords it's a card of grief and suffering and things that aren't pleasant that you never wanted to happen, but they did. It's in the past, but I think regarding the Five of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups, the Five of Pentacles, just accept it, acknowledge it, just move on from it, make your apologies, do the forgiveness, do that deep work on the forgiveness stuff. It's where healing really does come into its fore, when you're able to go, I did that and I'm sorry. Even to yourself. Always start with yourself. I did that to myself. I'm sorry that I did that. I'm sorry that I didn't follow my intuition, or I acted in an ugly, unnecessary way. Anyway, we've done the Five of Pentacles. So, Three of Swords in the past. There's something that needs to be healed, or something that happened in the past. And this is interesting because what are the influences of the future? Okay, look at that. The Ten of Swords. This is Orestes. He's had enough of Apollo telling him he's got to kill his mother, of the Furies telling him if he kills his mother he's going to be cursed. They tell him he's going to be cursed. Apollo tells him he's going to be cursed. He's in a terrible, terrible place. And here we have Atalanta coming and saying, enough. This is got to end. You've got to give this kid a break. And Atalanta comes in, or is it Athena? Same thing really. Comes in and basically makes the decision to save Orestes. Just as Orestes thinks it's all over, Orestes he's lying down, curled up in a ball, because he's had enough. He thinks he's basically dead, or he's dying, he's had enough. All right? And so Orestes is like, I've had enough, I can't do it anymore. I'm so stressed, I'm overwhelmed. Orestes is just like, it's overwhelmed, I can't do this, I just cannot do this. I'm feeling incredibly overwhelmed. And then she comes along, Atalanta, and just kind of says, no, enough. He's done the work. He's had a terrible time. He's been asked to kill his mother. He's had just an awful, stressful time. And she basically tells the Furies, no, he's not doing that. And he tells Apollo, no. She tells Apollo, no, he's not doing that. And what he doesn't realise while he's curled up on the floor, really suffering and just overwhelmed, is that it's all over. It's the end of a cycle, and in the background you can see the sun rising. Now in my it's really interesting because in my tarot reading for August, it was all about endings and beginnings. Everything is like, this is an end. It was the Hermit. It was like, recognize when things are over and have the courage just to say to yourself, that's over, that is done. That little karmic thing there is over. Let me just go, thank you for everything you taught me. Thank you for what I learned. Thank you for the experiences. And, now it's over. Okay? So something very important to know while you're going through this this astrological kind of, that blending. Because you might feel like it's just overwhelm. But you may not realise that overwhelm is a rebirth. While you're kind of sitting like shivering and shuddering and like, cowering in a corner, you don't realise there's other forces at work. That when everything is over, what happens here with Orestes, he basically clears his family lineage karma, because his family got a very bad kind of karmic line. And for what he did and how he acted, he basically cleared his family line. So deep healing going on. And it's a very symbolic thing for the now. Deep healing, whatever you're doing goes along your family lineage, goes along through your ancestors. And obviously the ancestors can also come through, especially with this Pluto stuff, and go, right, here's the way to heal this. Here's the way that we move on. Here's the way that we clean our family name, family karma. We neutralize karma, and we start, with this lovely fresh beginning. Okay. Where do we find ourselves in this planetary blending? Well, where we find ourselves is the Two of Pentacles. Okay, so here is Daedalus. He's just starting to work. He's fantastic. He's an inventor, a creator. He created the axe and the saw. And here is Daedalus with his pentacles underneath his bench. Everything is fertile, as you will see. It is often in the Rider-Waite, it's about juggling, plate spinning, quite a lot going on, feeling like there's a lot going on. It's like, wow, how do I manage this? And it's kind of, whoa, in the background of the Rider-Waite, there's this ship coming in, and the associations with the Rider-Waite is news coming, good news coming, and that kind of stuff. Obviously, you see here with Daedalus, it is fertile. Things are working out. Things are really kind of looking good here for Daedalus. He has to keep flexible, and he has to just keep the work going. He's just starting. He's basically building himself a reputation. So it's like, okay, just keep going. Just keep, as I say in my other video, keep your eyes on the prize. Just do your stuff, just do your stuff and get into yourself. Use it to the best ability, because it's interesting here, the Knight of Swords. Sorry, not the Knight. Yeah, it is the Knight of Swords. Here we have, how do other people look on this situation? Well, here's these two. It's air. It's the Knight of Swords. It's rushing in. It's the twins. They're going forward. And I mean, you only have to look at the card. If I just said to you, you've never seen a tarot card before, and I said, have a look at that, what do you think that actually means? What does that kind of say to you? It's kind of, it's swift, assertive energy. Okay, sometimes people pushing too much, saying too much. Too much kind of hot air, I would say. And often, sometimes it can be related to criticism, people bitching, and harsh, bitchy goings on. So maybe people around that you're basically changing yourself, and you're going, I don't want to be like this anymore. I don't want to be bitching anymore. I don't want to be, brought down by this energy. I'm doing my healing. I'm taking responsibility for what I did and who I am, and I'm changing it. And I'm changing it by recognizing what I am, and the Ace of Wands, and knowing I can turn this around because I'm going through difficult stuff, or I have been through difficult stuff, and I'm healing. I am healing myself. So the idea of this Knight of Swords, people around going, oh, look at them. What do they think they're doing? Oh, we know what happened in their past. So what? It's the past, and this is the present, and the present makes the future. And the minute you change your mental attitude towards yourself, and you go, I was like that. I always say this about parents, when people say about their parents. It's like, don't copy what your parents did, or don't copy what the auntie or uncle that you never liked did. Don't become like the bully you hated at school, or the teacher that you didn't like, or the, whatever it was. Don't role model those people. Role model the people that inspired you, whether it's like a character out of a film or a book or someone you actually know. Don't let this change your mojo. That's an outside influence, and you must keep your influence on this, okay? The love bomb. So the hopes and fears in this reading are really rather like. So here's the Knight of Cups here, riding along with all his optimism of love and support, and the love. Actually, in this deck, it's the love of the divine feminine. He's a bit of a lover, He's a bit of a kind of, he really loves a bit of the divine feminine. But he's bringing his cup of love. He's on his white horse of purity. His horse is like a symbol of pure love. It's just It's just going kind of clopping along. It's not dashing, it's not up in the air. It's walking through water, the creativity, the depth of emotion, the deep, wonderful well that we can reach when we truly move into self-liking, self-love. And, you know, as I always say, when you have the well of self-love full, it spills over into everyone you know, into everyone you speak to, and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so the beautiful Knight of Cups is there with all his wisdom. And let me not move all this around. And then we're looking at the outcome here. This is for this planetary alignment. What is the outcome once you've actually, you know, managed to keep yourself in charge here and keep yourself responsible and know that it's not the end, and it is quite difficult facing up to the pain and betrayal that you might have experienced. No one says it's easy, but the outcome is quite interesting because it's the Page of Wands. Okay, so it's fire. Look at him go. It's like it's trailblazing. It's getting up there and going. It's like the journey of pain. So it's the journey of pain, okay, and knowing that you've got stuff to heal. It's that lack that you're going to be healing and looking at and facing up to. It's feeling like you've just been, you know, beaten to the ground and you can't take anymore with the overwhelm. And then you've got, but it's okay. Every beautiful, coming together of events, of people, of happiness, of joy, you know, has often been through trials and tribulations. And then you've got the beautiful Knight of Cups, just bringing his love. He's a lover. The Knight of Cups is a lover. You know, I just want to love and be present and listen and see you and hear you and be there for you. You know, I just want to be on my lovely horse, and let's just keep it all calm and gorgeous. It's cups, it's, you know, all in motion and great. And then the outcome is like you rise again. You rise and you get on your horse. It's not even a horse, is it? It's the ram. You get on the golden ram and you trailblaze. You take your wand and you go, right, here I am. I'm present. This is what I want to do. I'm coming and I'm going off on my adventure. I'm going to do what I said I was going to do. I am reborn. I'm rising up through it all. And I'm taking my wand on my golden fleece, on my flying ram. Hasn't even got wings. Look, how's it flying? It hasn't even got wings. So it's like, okay, how does that happen then? But it's okay, isn't it? It's like trailblazing, a new beginning, rising. So that's my kind of interpretation of how to cope with this planetary kind of coming together. Yes, there are challenges. Yes, there are solutions for healing. And I think that's the most important part. There are solutions for healing. There always are. No matter what you're going through, there is support, there is solutions, there is a way of doing things. Don't give up. If you need support, you know, call a friend or call a helpline. Anything that you need to talk about, if it's whatever subject it is. I could go on for hours, couldn't I? But just see what comes up for you. Just see, you know, it's like, okay, wow, just left field, just keep calm. Remember Louise Hay, all is well, all is well. This is for my highest good, all is well, okay? And, you know, at the time you don't know what your highest good is because it all feels like overwhelming and mad and whatever. But I love the fact it ends with the Page of Wands, like a rebirth, a revitalization. I love the hopes and fears is the Knight of Cups. Of course, it's a hope that we are loved, that we are cherished, that we are recognized, that we are seen and we are heard. And if you want to be seen and heard, then make sure you see and hear other people as well. You know, it's a reciprocal, beautiful cycle of that energy, isn't it? You know, that whole thing. Just be there for people, be present for people, and they will be there and present for you in a good, symbiosis of a good relationship. And then, just a quickie before I finish. Again, after that, you've got this Jupiter and Venus conjunction. Jupiter, the planet of expansion, the planet of luck, and that kind of positive energy that comes in, you know, the luck and blessings of Jupiter in that expansive way, into Venus in Cancer, you know, that loving, homely feeling of being nurtured, and, you know, that Venus and Jupiter, Venus being, you know, the goddess of love and romance, and again, socializing. So there's this very beautiful aspect just right after the more kind of intense one. So, you know, everything as they say, you know, in the whole kind of many ancient ways, you know, nothing is permanent. So if you're having a hard time on the 8th or 9th, you know, it's going to pass, and then the next alignments come, and the next thing comes, and the waves of life just keep coming. They rise and they hit the shores, and they rise and they hit the shores, because that's how we grow. And I know I say that a lot, and it's not easy, but you know, all the classic examples of growing, like a caterpillar munching itself in order to turn into a butterfly, and the lobster cracking its shell in order to grow, and all that kind of stuff. So growing is you know, birth, all kinds of births. You know, they are initiation journeys, aren't they? So that's my take on this alignment on the 8th and 9th of August, depending where you live. Well, like I say, they're going on for a few days either way. So grow well, enjoy the experience, and look at yourself, and just, it's all about you. Evolving, emerging, expanding into the bright, beautiful light. You know, it already lives inside, so it's just feeding the light, expanding the light, sharing your light outwards, and just being the light, being a beacon, and enjoy that experience and see what you attract by putting that out. So thank you so much for watching, and I will be back soon. Take care now. Bye bye.